What's up, podcast listeners? We are back.
Yes!
Andy, Drew, producer Robin, the team that is the What's Up Casselberry podcast. If you are a new listener, welcome. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. We are a bi-monthly, is that the term? Twice a month podcast that goes into detail about all things happening in the fair city of Casselberry, Florida. We love to have great conversations with one another and with special guests about all the happenings here in our city. And man, we have an action-packed episode today. We've got some dad jokes. We've got some developments happening community-wise with literally the community development director.
Yeah, the community development director is going to talk about community development. About directing community developments.
That's good. But to start, Andy, it wasn't long ago you and your son Jonathan spent some time in the Dominican Republic, serving there and speaking. Man, tell us about it. How was your overseas travel?
Yeah, it was quite something. And in fact, a week from today, when this episode drops, I'm traveling to Cuba on another trip. So I got a couple of trips in this month. But this one, I was invited to speak at a conference for pastors and church leaders in the Dominican Republic, primarily from Haiti. But there's all kinds of trouble in Haiti right now. So it wasn't deemed safe to gather there or to go there. So we met in the Dominican. It was a really fascinating trip. I took Jonathan with me, who's 15. And I think there were moments that were kind of hard and heartbreaking, especially when we saw poverty up close and personal. Lots of challenges about what we're going to do about that. But I think one of the overarching memories for me was just seeing the simple lives that so many children live there. But in the midst of that simplicity, they have an incredible joy, right? There were tough situations, really hard places. Didn't have any of the privileges that we have over here in the U.S. Yet they seemed to be happier and full of joy. And I think it was a reminder for me and an eye-opener for Jonathan that often the things that we think we need are not things that we really need to find happiness and joy.
Yeah, I love that you got that experience, and really equally, probably more so happy that Jonathan got that experience. I think about my childhood and have done a little bit of travel, and it's always humbling to realize the things that I'm complaining about here in America, when you in contrast to what you see other places, is like, wow, need to get a reality check of what provides true.
It's good to know how blessed we are so we can be grateful, but it's also good to know how blessed we are so that we can figure out how to help those who aren't as blessed. I think there's a very clear principle that says those who have a responsibility to help those who have not. And it's a little bit about what we're doing at the podcast as well, but there are, of course, other ways to do that.
Well, with all this travel and to the Hispanic country, Latino countries there, and both Dominican Republic and Cuba, should we start calling you Andre as well as Andy?
No hablo español. I have no idea what you just said.
Oh, man. Well, listener, I think...
some will say that with my British accent and some of the words that come out, a translator would be very helpful for me, even when I'm speaking English.
Even when you're speaking English, yeah. That's funny. Well, listen, I'm always looking for opportunities, just the smallest little window to get into our next segment. And so I feel like I had a little rapport back and forth. It's time for Casselberry's favorite part of the podcast, the dad jokes of the week.
Is it really Casselberry's favorite subject, or is it yours?
It's mine, but I'll speak for others.
And mine.
Yeah, there you go. Producer Robin, Karen Almond. There's others that enjoy our dad jokes and Doug jokes very much. All right, listener, here we go. Coming from a new dad over here. These are all restaurant themed. I felt like since we're going to be talking to Chris Schmidt here and about community development and potentially some new restaurants coming into our community, I felt appropriate to talk about restaurants. Robin, if you're waiting for a waiter at a restaurant, aren't you the waiter?
Oh, that is profound.
That was like a philosophical little joke there. All right, second joke for you. What kind of side vegetables would you like for dinner tonight?
I've seen the answer. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to let you deliver this one.
It beats me.
Gross.
Gross. That's funny.
That was a Dwight Schruteism. There you go. All right, finally. Man, have you been to Victorio's?
I have been to
Seafood
Victorio's. I
restaurant.
love Victorio's.
Yeah, Victorio's good.
That's our next live on location.
That would be a great live on location. That should be one of our answers. Yeah, that's a great one. There really wasn't a fight at Victorio's. I don't want to give bad publicity to Victorio's, but
You set your joke up
And now
poorly,
we're
sir.
not invited on
I know, we
TV.
won't be invited back. There was a terrible fight at a seafood restaurant. 3 fish got battered. 3 fish got battered.
Oh,
That was-
Peter's gonna be on us now.
Those are not my best jokes. All right, Andy, redeem this
Stop.
time.
Well,
Give me-
talking
35.
about fish.
Okay.
If Earth was flat,
Who says it's not?
and if Earth was flat and fish swam over the edge,
Uh-huh.
where would they go? Trout of space.
Okay.
All right. Do you want a couple more?
Give me
Yes.
2 more.
These are more just kind of reflections. Why do people never come back from the baby changing station with the same? Oh no, I got that wrong.
Oh, no.
Why do
Womp
people
womp.
always come back from the baby changing station with the same baby?
That's a good reflection, yeah.
Okay.
We're crashing and burning here,
I'm
folks.
so-
Okay, one more. Did you
confused.
know that protons have mass?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean it's basic chemistry,
Sure,
right?
yep, yep.
Sure. Sounds.
Yeah, my
sounds
chemistry
legit.
teacher told me that, and I said I didn't even know that they were Catholic.
That was good.
Yes!
That was good.
I made Robin laugh. My day is complete.
There you
It's all
have it.
downhill from here.
The podcast jokes of the week.
I don't think it can go downhill
No.
from the dad jokes of the week, Rob.
Stop it.
But that's okay.
Okay.
If we're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. So here we go.
Exactly.
Yes.
Let's hit some Casselberry in the news segments. Listeners, in case you're unaware, Andy, my co-host, serves on the Casselberry Police Foundation board.
No, it's very
Jackson
exciting.
member? Are you? You're involved.
Yes.
That was another joke. It took me a
Yes.
second. I got it. I
All
got
right,
with
you're
you.
welcome.
The police had their award ceremony and they actually honored Police Foundation members as Citizens of the Year. Our own Ed Pisani Jr.,
Arif,
Arif Farid. That's right.
Yesha Patel.
Yesha Patel.
I mean, it's just like all these former guests.
Yes.
Award-winning guests on an award-winning podcast. So yeah, I was unable to be there because of some of my traveling. But the Casselberry Police Foundation, which does some great work in serving and supporting those who serve and support us,
Okay.
was honored as the Joint Citizen of the Year, which was very kind of the police department. But I love that the police department has this ceremony, and that was just one of many awards that were given out that night to different officers who have done some heroic, dangerous, difficult, courageous things this year to keep us as a city safe. It is important that we honor those who are worthy of honor, and often the police get a bad name because of some of the national narratives and media that's out there. But our guys in Casselberry are working hard every day for our safety and to support us, and that they could celebrate and be celebrated was a very important.
What I love about this little story is just simply that there's this symbiosis, this interface between the police and citizens. The police desire to uplift, to award those just general citizens of Casselberry who are doing great work in Casselberry, and vice versa. There's a desire to recognize and champion the efforts of our officers, and we really do have an amazing police force. So well done, and excited to recognize and celebrate more award winners here in the future. I think what this is saying to our listeners is that if you're a guest of the What's Up Casselberry podcast, there's notoriety. There's awards coming your way. It's just,
Absolutely.
You're getting
this is a stepping
bump.
stone to great things. I mean, pretty soon we're going to have an Emmy Award winner. I mean, Can you win an Emmy for a podcast?
for podcast producing.
There's some other, I'm sure, awards for podcasting. Emmys, I think, are television, so we would not be included.
Yes.
The Academy has.
Let's do some research on it. Let's get our research team on that and see what we need to do to win another award.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Who's that? Is that me?
This is Mr. Google.
All right, we're going to take a little break, and we will be back with our guest, Chris Schmidt. We are proud to be sponsored by Edward Jones Financial. In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? Call on someone who's invested in your success. Alia Farid, your Casselberry Edward Jones financial advisor, is here to help you. She will work to build a complete picture of your financial life, including your unique goals and passions, so she can help you achieve what's most important. Call Alia Farid at 407-678-0658 to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones Financial. member SIPC. Welcome back, listener. This is our favorite time of every episode of the What's Up Casselberry podcast. It's our chance to get to know and interface with somebody doing great things in our city. And today we are privileged to have the Community Development Director of the City of Casselberry, Mr. Chris Schmidt, who is also a friend of mine. So Chris, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent, excellent. Chris, I've known you for years. You've got a lovely wife and 2 boys, and we were just talking off air. You and Andy's son are the same age, and you're going through driving. What's that like?
It's fine. Before we start, I hold my breath and check my pulse rate before I'm done, but my son's doing excellent, so all is well so far.
Very good. Andy, I cannot maybe say the same.
I wish I could say the same.
Well, very good, Chris. Speaking of travel, we'll kind of get into the conversation. We like to do fun little icebreakers and all. Chris, do you and Kathleen have a particular place you enjoy traveling to? Where would you go if maybe spring break's coming up? I don't know if you're thinking about traveling anywhere. Where would you travel to?
We love to travel anywhere in the U.S. Mm-hmm. We love to take family trips. Any place we can have an adventure. Like, for example, we took New England states is where we went. We hit Boston, we hit New Hampshire. Every day we hit a different state. It was a little chilly, but we got to play in the snow, which is obviously you don't get to play in the snow as much as you used to.
There's not much Florida snow.
Not much Florida snow.
There is some LA snow though. Did you see?
There is.
Wow.
So we had a blast. I must admit, my oldest is now saying, tubing's fun, but I really want to learn how to ski. So we're going to have to change it up this year.
Great. Yes.
Colorado next year.
Yeah, there you go. Out west.
Probably start smaller in the Poconos, so we'll see.
That's good. Another icebreaker question. My first question was, do you have to be called Chris to be the Community Development Director of Casselberry? Because this is 2 Chris's in a row. If a journalist was to say, and I use the word journalist like a proper journalist, not like Drew or I. If a journalist was to write an article in tomorrow's newspaper about your day today, what would that headline be?
The headline would read, "More innovation coming to Casselberry."
That sounds like an exciting day.
Ooh.
It is. It is a very exciting day. Love innovation, love technology.
Well, I think we need to talk about that during our conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Let's jump right in though. So, Chris, tell the people, when did you start in this new position of Community Development Director?
I started the fall of almost Christmas time of last year.
Okay, so just a couple of months.
Correct.
Very good. And so, obviously, this role is impactful to every citizen, every listener here. You very much are hands-on in kind of the shaping and forming of what our city looks like, what comes and goes. And so, tell us maybe a little bit about just some of your previous experience in the field of government and planning.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't an interview, though. I mean, you do have the job. We don't have the job.
That's true.
Good to know. Thank you for the update. Wasn't sure if Randy was listening intently right now.
Yeah, he is.
That's my boss. Awesome guy. So
great guy.
I
Really
can't
great guy.
emphasize that enough. So, as you know, I'm a graduate from UCF. Go Knights, charge on. So I started my career in Central Florida as a planner. I've been doing that for about 20 years, and I've been in about 3 counties. Worked in sector plans, area plans. These are usually big planning projects. And this is my 3rd city. And the reason I'm back in city work is because I really, really love the scope. I guess the scope of a county is very small, like the listeners can see as I'm making a motion of how small it is, where the scope of a city is very large. You get to do everything and be a part of the entire community, which I really enjoy, and that's why I wanted to get back into city government. So I've done planning, zoning, building, code enforcement, a little bit of engineering, enough to make me dangerous, stormwater, anything I can touch and just be a part of, grow and learn, I love.
Fantastic.
So you were with Longwood and Winter Springs.
Yes.
Now you've ended up at the best city in the county.
Yeah,
Can we say that?
Correct.
But what was it that attracted you to Casselberry in the position?
So I've always heard good things about the city of Casselberry. And oddly enough, people stay there a long time because it's a great place to work. So a colleague of mine had reached out to me and told me that the position was Chris the First, I guess you could say.
Chris the First.
Chris the First. And the position had become available.
No, are you second or junior?
No, neither. Okay. Just in the realm of the city of Casselberry. So I inquired about it from a colleague of mine. He had amazing things to say about it. I did a little research. I heard nothing more but amazing information. I may have reached out to some other friends that may or may not be in the room. And I did a lot of research on what they were working on in the parks, because I really love working in parks, or at least being associated with it, and they were doing some cool things with that. And then redevelopment, which
is the name of the game right now.
Correct. So I was really excited when I applied for the position. I was fortunate enough to be selected.
That's fantastic. And Chris, you were saying off air that you even had some friends apply for the position. So it's obviously, it is. This was a sought after position, the community development director. Chris, I'm not, as you know, I'm not a smart man. I use words for a living, but don't always necessarily know what those words mean. Could you just kind of practically, for myself and other listeners, just what does that look like when we say you oversee and direct community development?
So first things first, I've heard you speak in public. That's untrue. You are a smart man. Second thing is, so the problem with community development is it encompasses planning, building, and zoning, and code compliance. So that acronym doesn't sound right. So the closest, correct. So community development is literally what you're hearing. It's development of a community that's residential, non-residential. Okay. So it starts with planning when you set up your entitlements. Once you go through the whole process of planning and zoning, city commission, then you go to your building permits, and then you go to vertical construction. So that's the building component. And then at that point, it falls into the maintenance area, which is compliance. So that's why community development covers planning, building, and code compliance.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd like you to write it out on a whiteboard so I could really get it, but yes. I think that makes sense. That's good. So, given all those different factors, different areas of community development, what does success look like for you in this role?
Success for community development, to me, personally, professionally, is low permit review times, and that's in the building end and the development end. Unfortunately, federal government, the government doesn't have the best stigma. So it's my job to show you that local government is here to help you, to get you through the process. We are not here to stop you. We're here to help facilitate and get you over the hump. And a lot of people walking into my office from something as simple as a garage sale permit to a building permit don't understand the process, and they don't need to. That's why we're there to help them get through the process. And so for me, the faster you can get it, and if I can educate you in the process, that's even better.
Yeah.
Because I want to provide you possibly a fishing pole in the future. That's what's important to me.
Chris, I'm going to throw you a softball because I know you're waiting to say this, but yesterday I heard you speak at the Chamber's State of the City address, and you told the audience there something that was very, very exciting to me personally in terms of increasing speed and helping people understand the process. You want to tell us about some of the developments that you're making in that area?
Yes, I am thrilled.
We need a drum roll.
I can't express we will be going from paper-based permits to online permitting.
Woohoo!
Breaking news.
We are putting the finishing touches on it, so you, in the near future, probably 30 days, give or take, you will be able to go online, apply for a permit, submit your documentation, pay for your permit. Review times will be a lot easier, too, because when you're dealing in paper, you have to transfer the paperwork to different departments. Mm-hmm. When you're in a virtual world, as you all know, you can do the review instantaneously.
Anybody can.
And you can log in and see where your permit's at and see, oh, planning had a question. Oh, there's their comments. I can reach out to them. This is what the issue is. Can I resolve it quickly? Versus waiting for a paper review where everyone has to culminate the comments. It's a longer process. Yeah. So when you go online successfully, you shorten the process, you shorten the timeline, and you simplify the process for everyone.
I'm a big fan already.
I'm thrilled when our IT manager and I started talking about it. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be great.
Well, it sounds like you were saying off air, too, that it's not just a matter of putting it available online, it's also making it user-friendly, making it very,
correct.
You don't have to be in the IT world to be able to follow and fill out a permit.
Correct. I've always said you shouldn't need a PhD in engineering to apply for a permit. It should be user-friendly for everyone because, again, you don't do it that often. So you shouldn't have to learn what the Florida Building Code is. You should be able to go in and apply for a permit And it's my job to simplify it. And then, so it's an education component, but it's also a shortening of the timeline, which is important for me.
So it sounds like on one hand, exciting developments are happening kind of in the processes of community development, making it more user-friendly for businesses, et cetera, homeowners. What about some of the ongoing tangible, tactile projects that as we look ahead over the next year to 3 to 5 years, what are some things you're really excited about that will bring great value to our community?
So I did touch on the densities and intensities yesterday in our forum. So what we've done is we've increased the density, which is the number of dwelling units you can have, and the intensity, the height and the scale of your buildings. In other words, you can have bigger buildings, you can go higher. So if you increase density, you increase intensity, you give development the opportunity to redevelop because land prices are not cheap.
Yeah.
So if you're going to redevelop a single story fast food restaurant, for example, it's going to be expensive. So you have to be able to densify, and it gives also opportunities for newer businesses, possibly more restaurants, things of that nature. And I'm excited about that because we are doing a redevelopment right now. You've probably heard, it's public information that BJ's is in process as we speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And then we also
And that's
have...
going to be right where Staples used to be, and that plaza right by
Correct.
1792 and 4th.
Where the GameStop still is, and there's the sourdough, and correct.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that, and they're in the pipeline. And I'm just excited once we can get the word out about the densities and intensities that development should be coming our way. And I look forward to it because, again, taking everything online simplifies the process.
Absolutely. And it's really amazing. A city like Casselberry, which you would know better than I, it seems pretty landlocked. In order to grow, the only place to go is up.
Correct.
And creating the systems and structures to do that is going to really benefit our community a lot. And all of us with the new tax money coming in, all that kind of stuff. So,
Yes.
So we've talked about processes and appreciate you moving those forward, talked about some of the exciting projects that are happening. But community development isn't just about those two things, it's also about protecting our community through codes and zoning and that kind of stuff. And most people only interact with those teams when there's a problem. So it's not particularly a warm and friendly thing that people like to talk about, but there are some processes around codes and zoning that are important for us to understand. What would you say to someone who doesn't understand why it's important to have zoning and code enforcement and those kind of things? Why, very basic question, why are those things important?
So for a community, there's certain values in your home. Everyone takes value in their home and their home ownership. Unfortunately, if there are things in the neighborhood that don't maintain, there is a certain value that can be lost. And it's almost like the broken windows. If you allow things to progressively go downward, it's never good for the community. And you're right, it's never a good conversation, but you want to maintain a certain level. And that's where code compliance comes in. And we do it in a thoughtful manner because we understand that some individuals may not have the means, and we try to work with people the best we can, but we also want people to understand that there's an expectation, and we want to manage the expectation and keep the values where they need to be.
When we have that expectation, we all win.
Correct.
And if that expectation is not met, we all lose.
Correct.
And we'd rather win together than lose together.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've already discovered it, but you've got a fantastic code enforcement, code compliance team.
Yes.
And Missy does a great job. We do a lot of work with her and the churches as well.
Missy is amazing, and hopefully she's listening so she knows I've acknowledged that.
If not, we will be sure to tell her.
Chris, you've been on the job just a couple of months, so in many ways you're still very much learning. You've lived in this area a long time, but learning the ins and outs of Casselberry specifically. What's maybe one thing that you just wish folks knew, kind of from your perspective, about our community that maybe they don't know? What's like a hidden little gem or treasure from your observation so far?
For me, just getting here, but you're right, being in Seminole County for years, it's the parks. I hope people realize, or they should know about the parks and the events we hold. I can step outside my office and I can be in this amazing park that, unless you're part of the community, but people need to realize we have some amazing features. We're going through a lot of renovations, and it's going to be amazing in the next several years. And when you're at the beginning ends of the park renovations, we already had great parks, and now we're renovating. It's just going to be amazing. And I'm excited about that because, again, I get to enjoy it if I step out of my office, which doesn't happen often, but when I do, it's amazing.
Randy, it doesn't happen often.
Just to be clear.
Those 3-hour strolls around the park, they're just research.
It's a big park.
Chris, we are so thrilled that you've joined us today. We're so grateful for the vital role that you play in our community life together. If we didn't have a community development division, we would quickly be heading backwards as a community. But because we do have a healthy department with a very strong leader in place, we are moving forward, and we're very grateful for that. We're excited to see all that is ahead. One of the things I love about our city is that they really understand their role to build and to serve the community. That often means that folks in our community have questions and things like that. If folks do have questions, they want to understand these new processes, they need a permit, how do they get in touch with you and your team?
The best way to get in touch with me, come on into my office, City Hall. I'm always available. Or you can go to casselberry.org.
Or you can walk around the park on a Monday afternoon.
And you can catch me in the park in my very short and limited stroll for possibly 3 to 5 minutes. Tops, sir. I promise.
Chris, we are so grateful that you have accepted this position in Casselberry. We're so grateful for all that you do to help build our community, and wish you the very best of luck as you continue to move forward in this role. So thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you, Chris Schmidt, for your not only wisdom that you imparted on to those of us who listen to this podcast, but also just the day-to-day work that you're doing and making our city just more desirable to live, more desirable to conduct business in, and continuing to develop the great city of Casselberry as we look ahead to the years forward. Andy, as Chris shared and imparted some wisdom on what's going on in the city, as well as just how to live in our community, would you impart some wisdom, closing out our episode with an inspirational moment?
I would love to, Drew. And our quote today comes from Jimmy Dean, and we were talking off air. We are not sure if this is the breakfast sausage guy or whether this is another Jimmy Dean.
Jimmy Dean.
We did James Dean, the actor.
Oh, James Dean. Either way, it is one of those wise Jimmy Deans. And he says this: you can't control the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails. You can't control the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails. There are situations and circumstances that throw us and knock us and twist us and turn us around. And there's not much we can do about the circumstances that come, but we do have a choice about how we respond to it. Can we respond with hope? Can we respond with grace? Can we respond by learning? Can we adjust our sails that even when winds blow us in the wrong direction, we can still end up where we need to be? Jimmy Dean, thank you for your breakfast sausage, and thank you too for your words of wisdom. That's funny, Robin. You're not laughing.
I'm laughing.
Thank you for your words of wisdom that say you can't control the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sail.
Thank you, Andy. Suddenly I'm hungry, and I have no idea why.
Good Denny's after.
Yeah, there you go. Listener, thank you so much for taking time to enjoy and listen to our podcast, the What's Up Casselberry podcast. You can find more episodes like this by subscribing wherever good podcasts are found on iTunes or Spotify. You can go to our website, which has been recently updated at whatsupcasselberry.com. You can find regular content produced throughout the week on our Facebook and Instagram channels. Just look for What's Up Casselberry. Thanks again, and God bless you this week.